Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the 49th edition of the Community Pulse. We're in for another spectacular show featuring Nippleback. That opener was a friend of ours from Italy, Gianluca Poda. The songs, I can't pronounce it, even myself being Italian. I can't pronounce the Italian, but it's titled Reflections. And absolute raw perfection. I just love this Gianluca's guitar playing. You can catch him on his channel. Please follow that link and go offer up some support. He was kind enough to let us open the show with it. So we've been following each other for a few years now. A great supporter of many channels that we are all familiar with. As you know, we start off the show with what's important to me. I owe a ton of gratitude towards the streaming channels that have helped my channel grow, that have helped many of your channel grow, to all of us out here. And we start off with none other than Pete Johns, of which we were talking in the backstage with Nippleback, how he came to the community, and it was, sure enough, through Pete Johns. Pete has a show, to those of you watching on replay. Many of you in the chat, hello to everybody, already definitely know Pete Johns. He's got the Your Music live show every Sunday at 5 p.m. at the moment, and all you have to do is submit, fill out the form, hit submit, and he'll give your track a spin. And that reminds me, I got to send my track. Thomas Christ, You Rock show every Wednesday at 6 p.m. We have a little bit of news regarding Thomas Christ in a couple minutes. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m., Thomas Christ has a show called You Rock. He will sit there for, I think, 4 or 5 hours, playing our music, exposing us into these communities. It's just fantastic. Jade Starr live interviews every Thursday at 4 p.m. This week we have Justine Kasprick as a guest, so that's going to be an amazing interview. I'm looking forward to that one. Independent Many United every Friday at 8 p.m. She has a fantastic show. This Friday, yes, it's her Valentine's special, and there is quite a few Valentine's shows going on this week. Um, I'm not sure if she'll be in the chat tonight, but if anybody sees her or talks to her, just give her the heads up that it's our friend Sal Caruso's birthday on February 14th, the Valentine baby. Beautiful. Chad Freeman, Sunday on Sunday, every Sunday at 11 p.m. Chad has a bunch of other shows. He emailed me, and if somebody's going to go out of the way to email me, I'm going to go out of my way to shut him out. Tomorrow night at 11 p.m., he has Sex, Lies, and Valentine's, open mic and karaoke. February 18th, that was the show on Sunday. And then we have in March, he's going to start up his ham show as well. I think I screwed something up there. And then we have 15th Bend, the Indy music roller coaster, every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. It's another fantastic show. Just tune in and submit a track. You can message them. There's many ways to contact 15th Bend. This week's featured channel, I never like to play anybody's music unless I get their permission. I learned that from Pete Johns and Thomas. And so we were going to feature Greg Hutto a few weeks ago. I didn't get to reach him because he had some things going on. And we did get to reach out to him now. So he is this week's featured channel. I'm going to spin a little montage that between JJ, I think it was, I think this is all JJ's work. Between JJ and DJ Big Red, we created this.
Ground control. This is Major Tom. destination.
How professional was that? Coughing right into the mic. Yes, that is none other than Greg Hutto. The channel will be linked throughout the show's entirety at the top of the chat. To those of you, I'm sure most of you have already. Hello, Junie Lynn, and have already supported or subbed up to Greg. Please go offer up some support. And I'm going to bring on, as I said, we had a little bit of news. I'm going to bring on our good friend, JJ, better known as Mr. Folk Punk. I'll unmute you. There we go.
Evening, guys.
How you doing, JJ?
Okay. Glad I could be here to help tonight.
Well, thank you. I know you had some insight on a few things. Yeah, go ahead.
You mean with Thomas?
Yeah, with Thomas.
Yeah. He has a mother-in-law that has had some health issues, so I know he and his wife have been, preparing to need to dart off at any moment for the last couple weeks, and today happened to be
not doing so well tonight. So Thomas came on the show right after Pete's show just to inform us, and so our prayers are with Thomas Christ and his family, and please go over to his channel, offer up some love. We chose the song Thomas's brand new release, so we're gonna play it now. And what I would love if people can just go over and offer up some support, please, and thank you. We're just gonna get right into it and play Thomas's song. Thanks, JJ. What a killer track. What am I doing?
I especially love Thomas's tracks that have a lot of guitar, and he's a keyboardist by training, so a lot of his are more keyboard and piano oriented, but he's got a number with guitar, and I really dig those. This one very much up that alley. And when I was telling him that, he mentioned that the new album coming out will have more of that flavor. So I'm excited to hear more.
Yeah, I didn't. I wrote some notes. Pete announced it yesterday, but I didn't write all the notes because I was gonna ask him. But I know that song is 2025, and I think Pete was saying sometime in September. The song will be ready. Yeah,
The album, the new album. Yeah.
So,
yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So let's. You want to just bring on? We prepared.
Let's...
Yeah, I prepared a little intro for Nippleback. I caught a video, and it's titled "Hard Enough to Cut Glass," and this video for me depicts everything Nippleback is all about. I'm sure you're all going to enjoy this. I certainly did.
Yippee-ki-yay! Use one word to describe Nippleback.
Majestic.
Iconoclastic.
Harmonious.
Look it up.
Eccentric.
Existential.
It's so many things.
Authentic.
Muy bueno.
Nippleback is Jerry Fournier, Sarita Baker, and Rob Martin. For 40 years, they have shared their uncompromised spatial brand of irreverence, joy, and silliness through their music. They have done it in obscurity, despite of 17 studio albums and regular touring. In honor of their 14th anniversary, they chose to perform 3 songs from the debut album, Nippleback Greatest Hits, live to tape from the underground parking of Douglas College. So Jerry, Country Fried Electric Ham, what it is?
Country Fried Electric Ham. Well, years ago, I was working at a restaurant, and the gas that powered the burners and the oven where we cooked all the food ran out. So we plugged the ham into the wall, which worked and seemed to really cook the ham, but we found it quite difficult to get the ham out to the customers in the dining area because we didn't have extension cords that were nearly long enough to do so. It's your Country Fried Electric ham. Traveling up and down the road from Phoenix to Tucson, pulling up in my 18-wheeler, and I really got a good greyhound. I need to see a special experience, and but that ain't what I came for, man. It's your Country Fried Electric hand.
Is Montage a protest song?
Was originally supposed to be a protest song because this was written before pot was legalized. But then it was also kind of thinking, what would it be like to get with a Mountie? Or mount a Mountie? Or mount a Mountie on my wall? So I guess I was kind of conflicted. But then I started thinking about those big black boots. It's like, yeah. The birds come back in springtime. They come back from the sun. And if you are a Mountie man, kiss me with your Mountie mouth. Oh yeah. I like to go toboggan with huskies on a road, but I don't want no Mountie man busting me for smoking dope. No.
Tell me about Evil Knievel.
Sarita challenged me to write a song that was not negative.
Was that really important?
Run, Lemmy, run! Run, run, Lemmy, run! Run, run, Lemmy, run! Run,
In retrospect, it was probably for the best.
I dreamed I was Evil Knievel, soaring high above Snake River Canyon, suspended in the cockpit of my rocket car. A lonely passenger on a leap of faith that seemed over before it had begun. Count Spoon got nothing on me, man. I'm headed straight for the sun. Yippee-ki-hey, yippee-ki-hey.
I did find it challenging to do that, and I got stuck. I had, Evil Knievel up in the air, communing with the eagles, and I really didn't know what to do with him. And then I realized that I could just kind of, Commander Tom it and just leave him out there. And that would be a happier way to go with the song.
Now that yellow eye expanded.
You, I can tell he's talking because his hands are moving. Can I do it? I guess Frank hasn't figured out yet that he's still muted.
Oh.
Frank has not figured out that he's still muted until he just heard JJ say what he said. So I do want to say thank you, Pete Johns and DJ Big Red, for posting those important links for Thomas Christ.
Yes,
And,
yes.
Yeah. So Sarita, Rob, Nippleback.
Welcome.
People want me to say this name 10 times in a row to see how I butcher it. I won't yet. I'll wait till I'm really tired, so I do a great job at butchering it.
It's always best to wait till the edibles hit.
Oh,
that's awesome.
If I keep going like this, I had 2 molars pulled out a few days ago, and I'm smiling so much that I think I've kind of the self-dissolving sutures are dissolving faster than they would be. But it's all good. So, speaking of your band name, Nippleback, why don't you tell us about how much fun it is when you put a band together and you get to do that early brainstorming of what are you going to call yourselves?
Yeah. Maybe Sarita wants to field this. I think she actually came up with the name.
Well, I was accidentally mispronouncing Nickelback. It just came out wrong.
Who?
And yeah, exactly.
Who?
And then we all, I said Nippleback, and everybody just lost it. And
it was meant to be.
Yeah. And then we spent 3 hours coming up with more names.
Right.
That we just couldn't top it, so we decided to go with
it. That was wise, and that was how long ago?
Oh, that was in the summer, ish of like June maybe of 2018, I think.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we weren't really a band.
So,
And then suddenly we had a gig to play Canada Day. And so we thought we should have a name.
yeah.
So did you put out 17 albums in those many years from
No, that was a mockumentary. So a lot of that stuff is possibly
wow, you guys are prolific.
fictional. Yeah.
Well, our first album was called Greatest Hits. So
Yeah, I caught that in the mockumentary.
yeah.
Yeah. So
And actually that's not a play on words, because if you say greatest hits, greatest hits kind of sounds like,
Depends how fast you say it.
Kind of sounds like Frank would say greatest hits.
It was
yeah.
It was an intentional typo to hope that we could slide past the censors.
Very good.
So far, nobody has flagged us for questionable, because I think it's on the list, the George Carlin list, right? It's the last one. So.
I believe it's one of the 7.
Yeah, it's one of the 7, but it's totally accidental. It's really supposed to be hits.
Sounds like a snack.
Could be a snack.
Isn't that what he said?
Could be, or a small bird. There are, and there's a mouse too, I think.
Some crunchy.
I think there's already a company though that has the slogan, "You can't just eat one." So you'd have to come up with a new slogan to go with
it.
Yeah.
And Pete hit the nail on the head with the video. Made me know that these folks are my kind of people. And you all have to go check out that the whole video. I cut pieces of it. It's absolutely funny. It's fantastic. You'll love it.
Yeah, thanks. I'd forgotten the content of those interviews. I'd forgotten about the 14-second punk song that we wrote. Just
when you said you put together the band in 2018, there was another member at that time, wasn't there?
Yeah. That's good.
Jerry Fournier, who's since passed on. He died of cancer in 2023 in the summer. So 2023 was the year that we played. All of our shows were memorials for people. So
yeah, that was difficult.
So we're kind of we're hoping that this year we will have no memorial shows. We'll get to play some shows for other purposes, which would be I think we played a show a couple weeks ago. It was a ton of fun. Partly, I think, because we were just playing a show. We just got to be as goofy as we want to be, and there was no heavy emotional undertones.
Yeah, it's hard to be goofy when there's like this dark cloud of a memorial hanging over your head. So it was nice to just be our silly, wacky selves. Last weekend, last Saturday.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago now.
Yeah.
And playing out live it sounds like it's quite part of everything that you do. I caught an interview about 2 weeks ago. Can't remember the gentleman's name that interviewed you.
I did one with Eddie Lamb, I think was his name.
That is it. Yep. And you were mentioning all of the people you've played with and the places you played, and I was like, holy mackerel. You guys have been around a bit in just those few years.
Yeah, we've done well. We played mostly just locally in Vancouver, but there's a lot of venues here, and then we both we like to play. Nippleback has gone pretty rock, but we have a bunch of kind of folk-oriented music because we were a fast folk trio to begin with.
That's how we started out as fast folk.
So we kind of slid. We still go to open mics to play those songs because we like those songs, and they need a place. So
Yeah.
so
I
we do a
like.
lot of that.
I heard of you more from the Greatest Hits album shared on You Rock, the tracks you shared there, and they were
Right.
a little more electric. And then as I went in and getting ready for the show, I was hearing the acoustic kind of more ones, and they're all just the same kind of vibe. However, the sonic picture it's still the good stuff. So, Frank, do you have some shout outs, and then we can get to one of these tunes that we're talking about this vibe of?
Absolutely. So let's I always start off the show with the mentioning that obviously I can't shout out all the tracks that we've accumulated throughout the week, and it usually starts from Monday to Sunday night. But you'll find many of these tracks released on the Community Pulse playlist, the 49th edition playlist. And the link is being posted now. We'll start off with Pole Vault featuring Sunshine Archer with the track called Memories. Robbie Stingle, busy as ever, has put out quite a few songs this week. Jim Bear, House of the Blue Moon, Rose Ackerman, Poor Girl, A Long Way From Home, Russ 8889, Hooligan Driver, NYC. And let's not forget the Charity for Life album, everybody. I don't know if you both are, that's Mandar. Sorry, I was looking at my phone. I don't know if you both are submitting a song, but it'd be real cool if you were. For the Charity for Life album, to those of you out there, if you have any questions or you need any ideas or anything, if there's any way I can help, please reach out to me. I've got a couple ideas myself. So I think I'm going to be good for this album. There is a deadline. I think it was April 1st, JJ. Yeah. So,
submissions April 1st, and the first of the two for this year. The first will be benefiting a Canadian charity for children fighting cancer. That will come out on Good Friday. So the deadline to submit a track for either, so there's a greater number to choose from, would be April 1st. But if you miss that, there is still the Thanksgiving night release of the second one for this year.
And it doesn't matter whether it's the Canadian charity or the American charity. With respect to the exposure our music is going to get, the charity, kids are kids. It doesn't matter where. We did really well for the UK. And we've got the Canadian one, this one coming up. Then we got the US, and then we go into Australia. So again, just submit your songs. I'm going to try to get one on each one of those. So I'd love to see as many people submit. And once again, please reach out to me if you have any questions or you need any help whatsoever. And there's always Pete Johns. There's so many brilliant artists and people that can help you if you need something mastered. You've got DJ, you've got Jade Starr. I can help where I can help. Midnight Bandit, ambient piano for Smoking 2. Midnight's been posting a bunch of nice little pop-ups like that and playing pianos. Pretty cool. Vintage Tone, Buckethead Forever. Brian Drums, I Alone, a drum cover. Another good chap from Italy, Federico Berluzzi, and Karen Shaderi. Master of War, a Bob Dylan cover. Ricochet, Can't Help Falling in Love, an Elvis Presley cover. Synthworks, Skin Deep. And Synthworks introduced me to a new artist. I'd love if we go over and support his channel, because Synthworks really wants him to be co-host for this artist coming soon. Robert Wood Guitars and Music. You'll love his channel. Please go check it out. Alien Sunrises, this particular song. Vivian Smiling, Happy Birthday. Am I reading the right one? Oh, I missed. This must have been put up by by DJ. Sorry. Vivian Smiling, Happy Birthday. Stevie Wonder cover. Unshackled Spirit. My good friend Sal, who's going to be celebrating his birthday February 14th on Valentine's Day. The main works, Obsidian Snow, Only You, Pendar, Make You Feel My Love, a Bob Dylan cover, and Zonis, who we had on last week, another artist from Vancouver, British Columbia, from Victoria actually, but from British Columbia. And yeah, and there's one thing I do want to say. JJ pointed it out to me one time, and about Hetry, referring to Hetriani and myself. He says, "What's with you Canadians? Grabbing your guitar and playing on train tracks and in the middle of the highway." Well, I just realized we have two from British Columbia playing in underground parking lots.
And then, you know,
Mr.
Mr. Hubbs is in a parking lot. Yeah, you know. Even a parking lot outside in the winter is still a parking lot outside in the winter.
Yeah.
Well, we did that video in February. It was like 10 below.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Celsius. So it was cold. For those of you who don't speak Celsius, it's something like
below
18,
freezing.
Yeah, like 18 degrees or something. I don't know. Yeah, so that was cold. And so every time Hubs does that this time of year, I'm like, that's pretty gnarly.
That's up.
He's a warrior.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. You should be mainlining, you know, coffee or something.
With one of those giant, you know, fan heaters they have like at the football games that just blow off, and like, you know, the people are there with their sleeves rolled up nice and warm while they're on the sideline, kind of. Yeah, but no, he's just out there.
Yeah, it's like, oh, in a concrete jungle of frozen tundra. It's amazing that he's able to play his instrument that long.
Yeah, he's cool. So your first tune we have lined up, I guess as a Canadian, I'm not sure what Paradise would be if, you know, the outdoor tundra of a parking lot is, you know, okay and cool. what Paradise would be, I can't even start to imagine, but we have Paradise Lost for your first track tonight. Tell us about that.
The lyric was written almost on a dare, I guess. I came to the band with the riff, and we were jamming it, and then they liked it and wanted it to be in a show, and we had a show in like 3 days, and I had to make up a lyric very quickly. So I had started singing about, somehow I'd ended up on like Paradise Lost in Milton, and I made a bunch of jokes about Milton, but none of them actually ended up in the final version. But that was the impetus for the song, was just to kind of poke fun at the way of the world right now. It seemed kind of like, at the time we wrote that song, the patients had taken over the asylum, so we were kind of not trying to be too direct at that, but we're riffing on it for sure.
So a modern Divine Comedy.
Yeah, I think so. Just, you know, I don't think we question our decision making early enough, often enough, and it results in some interesting problems that we don't know how to get out of easily, because we're not willing to look back. We only want to look forward. Progress is an ever narrowing field of view, and if you don't allow it to be informed by any learnings from the past or teachings from the past, then you kind of, if you go up a blind alley, you're stuck in it, right? So so there's some depth behind the lyric, but we're trying to have fun with it a little bit.
Excellent.
There is a reason why the lowest cantos of hell is reserved for hypocrites, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bury him upside down in the ice or something, right? Yeah.
But we were jamming with the bass player, and that's when we got the music was all there. I had a nice hook in the song, and then me and Chris, the bass player, said to Rob, "Write some lyrics." So he went away with a task to write that tune, the lyrics for that tune, in 3 days, and he did it.
Yeah, awesome.
Is
Sounds like a dare I know somebody else was given to read. Although I think he only had 20 minutes. How long did you have for Rise?
Yeah, it was a 20-minute challenge to get a chorus and a verse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a tough one.
20 minutes. That's
yeah.
That's
that was from the wife, though. So
it was
right to it,
the
and-
wife and my daughter.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
You're
were
much
asking
nicer.
you
You gave
for a
him
ride.
3 days. That's pretty nice. Wow.
Yeah. I guess now when I hear about this, I think I was lucky.
Yeah, you had 3 days for your honey-do list.
Yeah. Well, I think Sarita was tired of me taking like 3 weeks to figure out the lyric for a bridge and playing the song 9,000 times in the living room. So she was just, come on, man, get on with it. Yeah.
All right. So I
check
do
this
want to
out.
mention that this was Thomas's choice. When Rob sent me a bunch of songs, 4 songs, Thomas is like, "Is it okay if I take one out and add this one?" And it's like, so we just added it on. So
I believe this is the first one you shared on You Rock.
Yeah, that meant a lot to him.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we dropped the. I think we put the live version on You Rock like as a premiere. Yeah.
Right.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. Let's give it a spin. The first song from Nippleback is called Paradise Lost. Gordon, how are you?
Here come the money, here come the beauty, here come the devil with his best suit on. He said, now I am not evil, but I was defiant. I gave knowledge to man and found the wrong side of God. I gave knowledge to man and found the wrong side of God. I give knowledge to man, paradise lost. I thought that knowledge was wisdom, I thought knowledge was wealth, but knowledge I found was my keyhole to hell. To know without wisdom, embarrass the Lord, made monsters of men by exposing their flaws. Made monsters of men by exposing their flaws. Made monsters of men, paradise lost. Abandon your wise men, worship the fools, hang all the judges, lock up the school. Turn from temptation, return to the source. There's not but disaster at the end of man's law. There's not but
Well, that was fantastic. You've got somebody who wants to buy that picture. So,
Oh, I did the artwork. I'm the art
Sarita's the
person in
one
the
to talk
band.
to for that. Yeah.
And actually, you know what? Can we, Frank?
yeah,
Can you
I was
isolate?
just thinking the exact same thing. I want to zoom in because you got to see this, Kristen. Watch this work from Sarita. Solo layout.
Oh.
Look back here.
It's 3-dimensional art.
There's wood, and then I've got a pencil drawing that's connecting it.
Very
so 3D. It's fantastic. Synthworks, thank you, brother. You rock.
Cool.
That's just
Right on.
beautiful. Let me.
Yeah, I love that. I can see why Thomas, asked for that. Besides being special because it was your first one shared on You Rock. It's just a great tune, and taking that whole idea of free will and the consequences of free will.
Yeah.
And it's got a great hook, that chorus with the backing vocals. Just it brings a unique quality that it's your je ne sais quoi. It's Nippleback. It's that when you get those little backing vocals there in that chorus going on, there's this chemistry that it's magic.
Yeah, we like to do a lot of call and answer Bee Gees. Quite often, like the real melody or the real interesting melody is in the Bee Gees and not in the lead vocal. But it's kind of what sets the emotional tone. Like, we're being kooky and most of that stuff it's ad-libbed early on in the song making, and then we kind of finalize, oh, that works, we'll do that. And it's a full band effort when we do that stuff. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I think you're right about the backing vocals, the background vocals there. And in a way, it's not that you guys remind me of it, but it reminds me of like what the B-52s would do, where you'd bring in those female vocals in the background, and they were the secret sauce there, So yeah, love it.
Well,
You got some more shout outs, Frank?
I do. We start off with folk punk. And I had to add the description here. He put Project 4, released it yesterday. It's I think about a minute long, and in the description he has, does playing pots and pans as instruments make something proto-industrial, or just something that sounds like the flying lizards? And the crazy thing about this, you're brilliant, JJ. But the crazy thing about this is him and I are backstage just hanging out, what we often do. And I don't even know how we came about it. It's a song that we're working on. And I said, yeah, I want that flying lizards sound or something like that. And he goes, what?
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want your money. That's what I want.
Ironically, but he didn't tell me what he had already done. And prior to that, he had already posted this song. And it was just quite
the
cool.
Cosmic connection sometimes.
Yeah. All right, let's continue with this. Hold one. Peacing out my truck. Javelda Putzis put out, she was live on stage with a band called Easy Q Band, and her classic rendition of You Oughta Know, the Alanis Morissette cover. Sonic Race in All Things, Lugubrious, Descending Under the Bus. Our good friend John Lemon and Lemonade, Time Waits, and that's actually how I met It Just Came to Me, John Luca. Our opening track. VAK, GTR, a new friend that I got to meet recently. Shouting them out here. Project Freedom, please go offer up some support. Badass Brutus Guitar and Benny Rass collaboration. Charlie Tomstone, Music Connects People, Tony McGreal, Dynamite Throw. Man, there's a bassist. Hot Hot Dog Bun Garlic Bread. Great track. Scary Garcia, End Silence. And then we got our very own Laurie's Mishmash. Internation. I guess this is the band name. And the cover that they did was Brian Adams' cover of Heaven. Absolutely beautiful, Laurie. And then we have PJ Colby, Sympathy, Uriah Heep, full band cover. Michael, aka Zealand, Run Wild Down a Mountain Road, a brilliant track, Michael. Adam Holtz, This is Romance, Colorful Energy. Matrix Gate. John Schur, Late Night Rock and Roll. Old Man Music, who we are going to have on the show soon. Mark Wade did a cover of Comfortably Numb, full band cover. Jerry Gomes, Pale, and our good friend Gordium, Coax Chrome is the name of the album, or the art. Is it the album that they put together, or is that the band name? Coax Chrome.
Coax Chrome is one of Gordium's projects.
Yeah.
That he's called stuff. Yeah.
Right. And this one's Lust for Power. And I'll stop there for now. Yes.
Hey, you know,
and
you laugh, but that Flying Lizards track hit #1 in the UK in 1980.
Yeah.
And actually, when I went back and watched the video, it's actually really entertaining. You know, yes, they are playing the pots and pans and the typewriter and all of that, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
It hit #1 in Canada too.
Yeah.
Did it as well? Yeah, it didn't in the US, but if you listen to
banging on trash can lids and stuff in the recording, right?
Yeah. And the lady that sings it, she's not really singing, it's like spoken word, and you know, that's what I want.
Yeah, I used to listen to that as a kid a lot on Dr. Demento.
Yeah, in
for
the
those
States,
of you who are old enough to know.
it was kind of like an alternative radio, you know, that it got play. It wasn't, you know, your FM commercial regular.
And that's where I got the album. I told you it was a prototype. It had the hole punch in the top right corner.
Oh, we got a press copy.
Yeah, is that what that was?
Yeah,
I was just a kid, and we bought it from, again, not a mainstream like Sam's the Record Man, who we had here downtown. It was just a little private shop on the Danforth, you know.
Well, you know, Sam used to buy those too.
Yeah,
but you know, only if he thought he could sell them. Like I know my dad was a rock critic back in the 70s, and
oh really?
So we got hundreds of albums, like, you know, 100 a month basically the whole time he was there, and you get so many that you're trying to get them out of the house because you don't have enough space for them all, and so you used to, but technically you weren't allowed to resell the press copies. That was what the hole was for. It was a warning to record stores, but of course most record stores just didn't care. They would buy the album because they wanted stock, right?
I didn't know what that was, but it was pretty cool. I liked it because of the cover, to be honest with you. It's not like you know the band, you know.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right. Let's continue.
So our next track from you guys is actually, you sent us 3 suggestions of early tracks, and I picked this one because it had a very personal connection to me. Evel Knievel. And not only did I have the black plastic pull strap little toy with the motorcycle on it that would send it off, but this Snake River Canyon, the Snake River Canyon thing was on my 9th birthday. It was a Sunday. That was my birthday party. And I don't know if you as Canadians realize it, but in America, it was not only on a Sunday, or probably because it was on a Sunday, that there was another event that occurred that day. That was the day that President Gerald Ford preemptively pardoned former President Nixon for any crimes possibly committed while he was in the White House. It was done on that day because in America, that jump was like, it took over all the media. That was all anything anybody was talking about. So and I don't recall though if they announced the pardon earlier in the day, because if they waited to evening news, I mean, the jump was over within like 15 seconds before the parachute came out before he got off the ramp.
It took him a while to rejoin the land.
Right.
Drift back.
The actual jump itself was like, okay, is that parachute supposed to be out in the beginning?
Yeah, it was pretty, anticlimactic, I guess.
Yeah,
it was so much hype.
Yeah,
and
so
that you just gave me a flashback. I remember that toy, but if you let it go too soon, it would just spin around and come back at you.
Hit you like in the face. Yes. Well, in true Evel Knievel fashion,
right.
he would crash when he hit the ramp.
I used to just launch mine off the stairs, and of course, there's no way to make it land, right? So Evel Knievel never had a good landing in my house. He just crashed all the time. But I mean, I wrote that song. It was like I was just returning to songwriting. I'd taken a couple decades away from music, and I was just trying to come up with topics, subjects. So I did all these weird writing exercises, like pick a hero and then see where you end up, like how you connect it outside of that. And I wrote a bunch of songs with fairy tales in them and things like that. They were all sort of writing exercises, and some of them worked out, and other ones you're never going to hear.
So let's have a listen to this one. I also want to add that before you sent us the songs, because I know JJ is the one that organized this whole meetup. He was, as soon as I mentioned that, Rob and I did talk, but we never, nailed down any dates. But anyways, JJ goes, I hope he really sends us Evel Knievel. So when you said you choose one that you like, he was all over it. So that's cool.
Nice.
Let's have a listen to this. You all is gonna love this one.
I dreamed I was Evel Knievel, soaring high above Snake River Canyon, suspended in the cockpit of my rocket car. A lonely passenger on a leap of faith that seemed over before it had begun. Cow spoon got nothing on me, man. I'm headed straight for the sun. Yippee-ki-hey, yippee-ki-hey. Life's no fairy tale, but I'm on my way. Yippee-ki-hey, yippee-ki-hey. Each day's a blessing despite peril on every page. In my weightless abiding apogee, I caught an eagle's eye. Time means about as much to the universe as walls to a bird. Bubbles, submarines, hot air balloons, everything that floats is held up by displacement, not momentum and hope. Yippee-ki-hey, yippee-ki-hey. Life's no fairy tale, but I'm on my way. Yippee-ki-hey, yippee-ki-hey. Each day's a blessing despite peril on every page. Now that yellow eye expanded into a burning ring of fire that like an arrow my rocket car shot clean through. I recall buses and broken bones and where the roadway meets the tire, screaming like the crowd's tidal roar that keeps me aiming for the sky. Yippee-ki-hey, yippee-ki-hey. Life's no fairy tale, but I'm on my way. Yippee-ki-hey, yippee-ki-hey. Each day's a blessing despite peril on every page. I said, each day is a blessing despite peril on every page.
Absolutely amazing.
And yes, Pete, on every single line of the chorus when it came, my brain kept adding it.
You know what? It's funny because I used to sing that with Mother Effer in there. And then I got shit. You know, we got to clean up the language for, well, there's no kids here, but we got to censor it. So, yes, that person got it right. That totally was in there every time we sang it.
Yeah. And I mean, most people, even if you censor it, most people are probably
hear it. Yeah, you can hear it in there for sure.
Yeah.
I want to just add one thing because I apologize to D. Lynn. She sent me an email not long ago, and to those of you who know me, I'm a knucklehead, and I've got so many things in my head I forget. D. Lynn asked me about GarageBand stuff. D. Lynn, the person that you really want to contact, he is in the chat right now by the name of Pete Johns. DJ, you can post a link. He runs shows just specifically on GarageBand, and he had a fantastic show. I was listening to it on the way home from work today. Exactly what you're looking for. And you can also submit one of your beautiful tracks, whether it's a cover. He loves the originals. He does have a section for covers, but there you go. So
and Pete has, I guess, is that what search engine optimize means? Where if you plug in some quantize GarageBand Pete Johns and you put that in, it'll give you the exact episode where he's teaching you how to quantize in GarageBand or something. So anything you need to do.
D-Lynn, if you follow the link today, it'll actually pop right up. It was just before this show. Yeah. Very cool.
That was an example of some early Nippleback material.
Yeah. That's when we were still acoustic.
Yeah.
And we traded in our acoustic guitars for electric guitars.
Now, was Jerry with you guys when you were acoustic? Were you an acoustic trio, or were you just the two?
No, that was like Jerry's lead work, and he was the male backing vocal in that song. So
excellent. Yeah, it almost sounded, the way he was playing the lead there, it almost sounded like it was a mandolin or something. That was some really cool.
He likes to get into the make sure that he's playing in a different register than the rhythm guitar when he's playing the lead works. So he was pretty far up the neck, kind of as far as he could reach is where he started, and he worked his way back down. But
Yeah.
Sounded great. Great.
The other shtick we kind of got into with that trio was really pushing the 3-part harmonies, and our three voices worked kind of nicely together. They kind of
Very
matched
nice.
up. There's a
we all had
softness
different
to my voice and
spots.
Rob's voice, but also to Jerry's voice.
Yeah, yippee-ki-yay. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Not with the extra on there, but yeah.
I'm glad that people are getting the reference.
Mm.
And I have to tell you, you mentioned that you were, I think it was back when we were talking about the first song and the Milton connection allusion. But you had mentioned like fairy tales and things, and very much your compositions are like that of a storyteller. You have that narrative quality.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, I don't want to deride modern music, but for me, I want to take people on a journey of some sort, right? Like it doesn't have to be a direct narrative, but I want there to be some kind of emotional shift. You know, something happens in the song that triggers people, not in a negative way. In our case, we're usually trying to leave an open-ended, happier outcome, but I feel like for us, you know, we're not trying to be a pop band. We're just trying to tell stories, right? And so, you know, a lot of my songs are kind of that way. They're not super direct, but you know, you want to go somewhere with the song. You don't want to just be in the same place all the time.
And you also have that excellent element added in there that you do have a hook that's like a pop. You know, that's what pop is. Pop is the hook. You know, you've got the song thought, the narrative thought, the story, and the hook. So you got the magic when you got the two of them together like that.
Yeah, and I mean, some of our songs are like, they're kind of they're almost like that Beatles thing where they take a bunch of song pieces and slam them together and then write a lyric that kind of connects them. We do that sort of thing, or at least I do that sort of thing from time to time. It's and that naturally gives you a journey, right? Like, you know, if you've got 3 or 4 parts to your song, then you can take the listener to a new place for each part, and it pushes the story in a different direction, or whatever commentary you're trying to make. It's a nice technique, and you know, as much as I like 2-chord vamps for their simplicity and allowing people to ad lib, I think structurally it's a little bit empty, right? You know, for me, and so I'm always looking for some kind of structure to push the song along, you know. And I think Sarita does much the same thing, and when she's writing too. So
Well, mine are maybe a little slightly bit sillier than yours.
Sarita is surreal.
Nice. Tiny bit more.
Yeah.
So I guess she's Johnny Carson and you're Ed McMahon.
Sure. Yeah. I was thinking more I'm Abbott and she's Costello, or like I could be Hardy and she could be Laurel.
Or what's the Gracie and George Burns? Was it Gracie Allen?
Oh yeah.
And George Burns.
Or she could be like Goldie Hawn and I could be the rest of Hee Haw.
All right, I'm gonna go with some shout-outs here on that note. We got Dwight the Hitman Bailey gonna slay the giant. Paulo Farrell, he was in the chat earlier. One of these days, part 1 and 2, fantastic stuff. Melanie Coley with Herb Southman. Detective Agent Dark Nut, our good friend Mark, another brilliant, The Poem of Saint Thomas. with music. It's absolutely beautiful. Go check it out. Gary Schaefer and the Pickin' Pilot, Running on the Wind, 11 Drums People, Wesley Media Hub, Rocket Wire, D. Lynn, we were talking about earlier, When the World Goes Crazy, Paul, Looking Back, Miss High did a cover of Creep, Radiohead, K Kung drums and Laurie's Mishmash, with the band they call 80 Proof. They did Spellbound by the Devil. Great cover of Dimmu Borgir. Is that who that is? Yeah. Linda Jean, Falling in Love with You, an Elvis Presley cover, and my good friend Prince Prodigal, Real Eyes with Scottish Force. Very cool stuff. I'm going to continue with the upcoming because we've got a few people in there, and I would love to see a lot of you out for my premiere tomorrow night at 7:15. It's a song that means a ton to me, and it's called Averly, and it's about the human trafficking, and it's I like this song. It's one of my favorite from my latest album. That's tomorrow at 7:15. We also have Leni Perez doing a Linkin Park cover, The Messenger. She's premiering at 10:22 p.m. Thursday the 13th, we have the interview, as I mentioned earlier, Jade Starr. She's going to be interviewing Justine Kasprick. So you know that's going to be really, really good. Friday the 14th, premiere, You and I, David Joshua. Ember Hill's third album release is coming up February 18th. And then next Monday, we have Kid Kane and DJ Lenny on the show featuring. So that's going to be a lot of fun also.
Cool.
All right.
And Frank, I wanted to mention at the start, and I forgot, but you just reminded me when you mentioned that Jade was interviewing Justine this week. Big respect send out to G-May and
thank you.
All of the other people that made that happen and come together, performed, listened, donated. It was just awesome. It was to try to explain to people that aren't familiar with this community what this kind of thing is. It's hard to put words to it because there's not other examples out there to really compare it with. And that's what makes it so special. So really big respect for everybody that was involved in that.
Yeah, it was a good night. Well, day.
Day. He went for, I think 12 hours?
12 hours, yeah.
12 hours.
12 hours of scheduled performances and then an after party.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that's a lot of
if
work.
you have anything left to give,
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great. I kept it running in the background all day. It was cool, and so many great performers. If I ever figure out how to stream, I'll make the next one. I think.
Well, you
Kurt
can
was great
talk
for
to
that,
JJ and myself. We are just pros here now.
All right.
I mean,
we can tell you everything not to do.
Like, don't forget to hit record or play or start stream, end stream, mute, unmute.
Don't have your microphone backwards.
Echo cancellation on, echo cancellation off. Yeah. Then you got to worry about playing.
Yeah. That's the one part I know how to do, I think. But I don't know. I've loaded OBS and Black Hole, and I'm starting to figure it out, but it'll take a little while before we're jamming live, I think.
There's a man who can jam live.
I played live on Laurie's stream that was held for Folk and Feather. And people were like, "Oh, I love how you have your guitar sounding like a sitar." Well, that was because I didn't have my guitar plugged in. Yeah, I forgot to plug it in.
You had like a really weird cue on your microphone or something?
Yeah, it really wasn't supposed to sound like that, but I'll go with it.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to get into the next track?
Yeah. You know, we were talking about places that your inspirations come from and trying to create stories. So our next track is Rapunzel.
Oh,
Wow. You guys, it's funny. It's like Sarita's our regular lead singer. Right? These are all the filler songs for when she needs a rest. But that's okay.
No, we wanted to make sure she had time to finish her dissertation. So we
fair enough. Yeah. I'm in the process of writing an abstract for that now. So it's like,
all right.
It goes on. Rapunzel, yeah, that was
your fairy tale phase.
Yeah, it was my fairy tale phase. I wrote a bunch of fairy tale songs. I just thought it was a nice when you borrow even just the title or like a couple of elements from a fairy tale, it connects to people immediately because people are aware of those tales. And then you can go other places. So I tried to write these things and create a backstory that isn't part of the fairy tale, take it from a character's perspective and tell that story. But it's just a really simple way of bringing people in at the beginning. Oh, Rapunzel, okay, I know that story. And then they have expectations, and then you surprise them with some elements, but you comfort them with others, right? So it's a bit of a gimmick, but it seems to work. I've probably written half a dozen of these things now.
So, you know, as I hear you so articulately describe your music and your song structure, I wonder if, did you often around the family dinner table growing up hear your dad talking of as a music critic when he would talk? Because it sounds like the analysis is superb.
No, I was like less than 10 when he stopped being a music critic, but I did a degree in creative writing, so I have a background, like a very literary background, and I've kind of imported some of that into my songwriting. I think certainly in what I'm trying to understand what I'm doing. That's kind of how it worked in that sense, I think, for me anyway.
Excellent. And like I said, it's not just the songwriting capabilities that I'm noticing, but it's your analysis of the songs that is really superb. So I guess maybe some of that is just natural genetics, that just, that analytic mindset.
I've spent a lot of time talking about writing, as you do in a writing program. So, most of this stuff is not, like, it's not necessary to hear and enjoy the song, but this is more about, right? So I'm happy to share that. I usually won't talk at all, and you can ask Sarita this, but I won't talk at all about what the song is actually about for me. Usually, I don't want to put boundaries on content. I'd rather a song to be open to be interpreted by anybody who engages with it, right? And then
you won't even tell me what they're about.
That's such a great point. JJ and I had the conversation the last couple of weeks about something I wrote, and I laid out what the song was all about, and I don't even want to play it anymore. It's almost like, it's
Yeah, I mean, as a
leave it
writer,
for
you need to
others.
connect. You need to
Yeah.
connect to the material. But when you tell people how you're connecting, you suddenly narrow their ability to connect, and you might narrow them out, right? So that they
Right.
can't. And
Yeah.
so I really try to write things that are specific enough for me to connect, but general enough that it lets a lot of people connect to it. And and I would never tell anyone that the way they're connecting to the song is wrong. I
Right.
think that every connection is valid, right? I hope that they aren't, finding ways to torture babies for fun when they connect to songs, but you know what I mean? Like, I think everybody has to be allowed to bring their aesthetic appreciation and their understandings and their experiences to the listening process, and you shouldn't limit those things for people as an artist.
Right.
And you don't need to explain a song beforehand. Like, you have to let your audience have their own way of interpreting it. Just because I write a song about, vaginas and penises doesn't mean that maybe somebody's going to take it literally. Maybe, somebody wants to take it symbolically or whatever, and that's fine. So, I remember there was an interview the Beatles had, if we have time for this, where they were asking Paul about Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Was that about LSD? And he said, no. My kid was doing it, or I think it was John. My kid was doing a drawing, about Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, and I wrote a song about that. But he wouldn't ever nail down what his songwriting was about. And I really respect that.
I think the drawback sometimes to videos are that, you can convey a particular story. But you just reminded when you mentioned the Beatles. So there was an interview I caught with Bob Dylan in an airport in like 66, where they would get like these little press conferences when they would land somewhere. And he was somebody that always seemed kind of perturbed when, I like how we're talking about the craft of the song, not like what the song is supposed to mean and what you're supposed to think when you hear it. And he would kind of give some answers that were snide in a way, just because he was fed up. And he said in 66, he said, oh, that's just a song about me selling women's underwear. And I thought, oh my God, he predicted what he wound up doing for Victoria's Secrets, making big money years later. Was that a plan, or was that just coincidence? I don't know.
Hard to keep track. Yeah. Well, Dylan didn't like the press at all. I don't think he liked the process of being asked to explain himself. And I can understand that. It's difficult, and and he has his a specific mindset. I think my mindset is that the artist has to own a certain amount of responsibility for the messages they promote, right? And,
sure.
And for that, I mean, I'm not afraid to talk about message, but at the same time, I don't want to get so specific that it excludes people. That's
right.
Yeah. I always like the little disclaimer that U2 used on their first album. This is not a rebel song, and then they just went on and played the song. But yeah.
Played the rebel song.
Yeah.
This is not a rebel.
Yeah, that was definitely rebellious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's right before Sunday Bloody Sunday, right?
Yes. Yeah. And he was trying to say, hey, I'm not talking, just, think what you want, but I'm not intending this to be a rebel song.
Yeah. Well, that was the Red Rocks album, because I mean, on the album, he doesn't have that disclaimer.
Right. When they do it live, you say, yeah.
All right, let's give it a spin.
Rapunzel.
This is, Rapunzel, and do this.
This morning I hurt you where you live. Should have kept my mouth shut instead of making each word hit. Afternoon regret, cold and lonely bed. Now I'm hoping you'll forgive. Is the world so full of dragons? There's only brimstone in the air. If I could only be Prince Charming, and you my lady fair. Rapunzel, let down your hair. I wanna climb into your tower. Let me walk within your garden. Remove the thorn from every flower. I get so confused. These feelings leave me mute. The silence hiding true. Where did I go wrong to be repressed so long? I put love in a song. Rapunzel, let down your hair. I wanna climb into your tower. Let me walk within your garden. Remove the thorn from every flower. This morning I'll take it on the chin. Admit to all my misdeed, each and every sin. Afternoon regret, losing every bet. Still hoping this long shot will come in. Is the world so full of dragons? There's only brimstone in the air. If I could only be Prince Charming, and you my lady fair. Rapunzel, let down your hair. I wanna climb into your tower. Let me walk within your garden. Remove the
Wow.
Yeah. Sax for the
Bring
win.
that back on. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to
It's
thank Ian Putz for that. He's a great
N-
player.
nothing
you
like
know-
getting a real sax on your music, you know, that feel, you just know it.
There's a different tone quality there. Yeah, maybe it's in between the notes. It doesn't sound like a MIDI keyboard, keys. You can hear it's a wind movement, a breath movement. Yeah, that sounded very sweet, very sweet.
It's hard to get the readiness without a real read. I think that's
yeah.
I mean, you can make a synth sound less synthy with some reverb, but it's so hard to get the kind of intonation and the that you get from a real saxophone, because they slide around a bit,
And it was a masterful recording of it too, because it's not as easy to record a live played reed instrument as it is to something coming through a MIDI. So that was some nice recording there as well.
Yeah, well, we were fortunate. Ian's he's a local legend, I guess, in the Vancouver music scene, but he also he does a lot of composing for films and mastering and mixing and recording for bands, and so he has a home studio. So and it's set up to make his sax sound perfect. So I sent him I sent him like a not even a mixed track of the song, just like sort of a studio mix. And I sent him that and said, this is where we want you to solo. Here's the lead sheet. And if you want, do a couple of things in the spaces between sections and we'll see what works. And he did like 3 or 4 passes and we cobbled it together. But yeah, it was really generous of him to do it.
Very cool. And do you notice how Laurie came in exactly as you said, local legend?
I know.
Yes.
Well, that song led us right into it. Come on, let me into your tower, take it on the chin, the sax. I don't know what you guys are all about over here, but but I do know what's coming up next.
I think that's saying more about you than me. I don't know.
And now you created the song. I don't
know.
I just want to show my Kurt Fest shirt that came in a day after I helped co-host.
All
day
right.
late.
Awesome.
I may be the only one that has the gray one. I think everybody was in black. Great show so far, guys. Loving it.
Go too. So I'm going to continue with some shout outs, and then we're going to go into the next segment. There is a section I always shout out doing for others. I think it's important. There are many members in our communities that go out of their way over and above to share other people's music and streams and all that good stuff. And we start off with Dan Anderson. We go into Laurie's Mishmash. Even if it's 1 o'clock in the morning, she'll still send me a DM and say it's a premiere.
Thanks, cuz. Sorry.
Yeah. And then I always respond in the morning at 6.
Yeah.
Leni Perez, Read Between the Lines, Rebel Rocker, DJ Big Red, Crimson Crux, Queen Survivor, Mike and Dawn. There's so many amazing people in our communities. I'm going to continue with some of these mentions. Fridays, I tried to group these together the best I could, particularly for Friday, because it starts right at 2 o'clock where you got Valerie Bott. Then we go into Charlie Gabaldon. And then you go into Independent Many United at 8 p.m. We go into Pole Vault. I know she's going to be back. Well, how did I just draw a blank? It'll come to me.
Who, Valerie? Terrell.
Terrell.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think she's going to be back soon. But we go into Pole Vault and Sunshine Archer with the weekend warm-up. And then Laurie's Mishmash is back with the Friday Night Hang, a fantastic show. I'd love to see Oh, I can't lie. It's so hard for me to stay up, but I was
I
at
was
this
shocked.
last one.
You came Friday. I'm like, this cannot be Frank in the room. Yeah, but thank you. We love when you show up.
You accidentally drank a
Still
coffee
paying
after
for it.
5 p.m.
We're all. It's been a long weekend for everybody with the Kurt Fest and the Friday night shows. We're
Yeah.
all getting sick and exhausted, but it's fun.
And then Lori's show is followed up by Gary Hubbs, the parking lot warrior. And then we've got Leela, the Leela verse following Gary. So it's like exactly 12 hours of
It's great.
amazing music. So it's really cool. I do want to shout out the Nut House, very cool channel. Neil's Han Dynasty. He was here earlier. Please, he's got some pretty amazing stuff between him and Etsy Wolverine. Just go over and check something out and send some love, and you'll really like some of their stuff. I'll tell you, I've got I'm not going to say who the collab is with yet, but Etsy Wolverines put up a stream and about drones, and about 6 hours later, I had lyrics, and when I got home, it was I put together a nice little riff to go along with it, and it's going to be a song soon. So it's pretty cool. Anyways, I thought I'd share that. Please go check out Neil's Han Dynasty and Etsy Wolverines. JM Unleashed Word Games every Monday at 5 p.m. Just before this show, you got the Mix Club. Rhett, thank you for all the support. Creepy, an amazing artist. Cubic Lover 1972, Rich New Designs, a special shout out. 61 years old. I'm going to be 61 years old soon, in a few weeks. And I say that because when somebody like Chris Lane gives you chills before you do a performance, like just the introduction, I'm not going to lie, I just had chills before I even got to start to play. And I think it helped me through the playing. I just wanted to shout you out, Chris. Thank you very much.
Chris is awesome.
You're an amazing individual. And Chris and Dom are like tag team. They're two amazing people. Please go check out their shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm not sure if they have the Tuesday yet, but the Thursday's running strong. Camp G May, once again, what an incredible thing he did for Justine, and to keep the memory alive of Kurt. It was just a beautiful show. I was so proud to be part of it. Mr. Smith, Axe and Nacho, tonight at 11, don't forget. Vince Janella, everybody from this show will be, I'm not going to use the word dumped, but yes, you'll be dumped over to Vince's channel. I should say redirected. Richard
like JJ on the
DeFalco, Michael Songs is now on every Sunday at noon. And then I'll finish off with the karaoke streaming channels. Just fantastic music. And I shouted out two of their covers that they did this week, and that's Mrs. High and Pendar. But they have a great show Saturdays, Pegs and Pen. You got Javel DePutzis every Friday morning. You got Shimmer Soul, Punk Media Karaoke, Leah Ramos, Mr. B's Music Addiction, Deb's Woodburning, CC Karaoke, Mama Rose Channel, Angela Tanzer, and Together We Are Family. And I want to thank everybody for, I've gotten a lot of emails in the past week, people adding stuff, and that's what it's all about. If you got something for me to shout out, please send it to me. And I did remember what's on the 18th of February on Chad's channel. Please email photos of your or videos of your pets to be shared. So it's going to be a lot of fun. If you have a pet
parade,
and I can already think of 3. I've got a video of my pet rat in the back. I got a video of my koi. I got a video of Rocky the raccoon.
Don't say Rocky's name, Zach.
Yeah, he passed. And a video of my Tsukino, my little kitty. All right.
You know, I actually, it does exist because I have it bookmarked somewhere. But the little clip Jade made of that Wednesday morning Ron Ward show where Moon
Yes. You got to get that.
on the Epiphone case.
JJ, please find that for me.
So sad. Jade
Come
will
on,
have
let's
it.
send it to Chad.
Yes, that's a
Find it.
definite. That's a
I'm sure
definite.
Jade has it. If you can't find it, yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I want to say thank you to all the mods every week, especially DJ Big Red 81, who's double working because I'm on this side tonight. So thank you guys.
Yeah, DJ, great
Yes.
job.
Good job, Mods.
Thank you, Mod. So this next segment, I guess I didn't have to say what's coming up next because Lori's joined us on the panel.
I'm a good
So
listener.
this is our the pianist and composer segment of the show. Yes, we joke around about this, and I'm gonna try it. Pianist, Nippleback, pianist, Nippleback, pianist.
Penis and nipple show. Yay. You got them all messed up now.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Frank was
right.
on my show on Friday, and he goes, I think I'm going to have a pianist for the whole show as the guest. And like, how am I going to keep you guys under control? I'm like, you're not.
Yeah.
Poor
So, but all joking aside,
You guys have handled that like professionals.
Right?
Professional 7-year-olds.
Professional pianist handlers.
Oh, fun. Look at Frank. He's getting all choked up.
Yeah.
Ooh, sorry.
All right. So, all joking aside, these are amazing supporters of my channel and many of our channels. And I don't think they get a lot of love, but I think since the community pulse is made this segment, yes, we joke around about it, but yes, I can tell by some of the comments that I've seen and consistent. So it's pretty cool. So please go offer up some support to these brilliantly talented composers from our community.
Let's do it.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Beautiful, beautiful.
There's a lot of eggplant in the chat.
It is. And Frank, just to make it clear, we're not making fun of the pianists. We're making fun of the way you say it.
I know.
No disrespect to the pianist, because I'm one of the small ones in there.
And
Whoa,
actually,
One of those small ones.
we have the anniversary show coming up in a few weeks.
Yes.
And
yes.
I've been going through, I'm trying to gather to make a little montage of every episode where he says the word. But the first you actually hear Frank say, you know, now I'm really practiced after JJ said something. So yeah, it's pretty obvious that it's the pronunciation.
And it came out worse. Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
No,
and
he's doing better. He's doing better.
When I watch that and listen to that clip, I see Chris's fingers on that keyboard, and I get the same thrill as when I watch Trevor Hansberry's fingers on the fretboard.
Yeah.
You know, there are some musicians whose the way they move just is such a fluidity. Yeah. And it's like nonchalant, but not in a negative sense. It's because he's right there, you know. Effortless.
He
You know,
did like
maybe
a
that
9-minute overture the other day, and I'm like, I am so envious of your talent, but did you memorize this? Like, please tell me there's something in front of you for 9 minutes. I didn't get a response yet, so we'll see, Chris. Tell us, let us know.
Well, he doesn't want to tell you that there isn't anything in front of him.
I know he doesn't want me to feel bad. He's a sweet guy.
Yeah.
All right, now that the penis section is over, I'm going to pull out
And
and let the kids finish their interview.
and
guys are doing
15
awesome.
Cent is no better than you. He showed up just in time, same time you did.
He sniffed it out, and he'll be out of here too. All right, bye. Guys are doing
All
great.
right.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Lori. Bye.
Thanks,
Thank
Lori.
you.
She's amazing. All right. So, yeah, back to, I'll let you take it away here, JJ. This has been a fantastic show. I mean, I can tell.
We really do appreciate having you guys on, and I hope I'm doing you justice here. I know
We
TC
love you too.
TC had really been looking forward to this, and I know he was really prepped for it. So I hope I'm filling in. But you know, it's easy when you have music and conversation from the guests that's this good. And our next one in particular is a real gem. What about Mimi live? And the gem will make sense at the end.
Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Man, when I first heard this on Thomas's show, it's so amazing.
That was a fun show. I did everything I could to do this wrong, but it still managed to work out.
Tell us a
I
little
can't believe
bit about
they
it.
kept it on video. I fake sing the first chorus. I'm really doing the slowest guitar change ever. You know, the previous song was on an acoustic, and I just was strapping on an electric, but I managed to forget to turn the tuner off, and then have to go. You know, and I forgot to switch picks because I used different pick heavinesses for the two instruments, and so then I had to throw that and find, you know, so I spent half the song kind of fishing, and then I just got back in time to play like the solo and get out, and then I realized I had part of Sarita's face stuck to the bottom of my shoe, and then I had to pull that off too.
Is this
Sounds
the
to me
live?
like
Is
you'd
this
be
the
in-
live
Yeah,
video?
it's the live video. Yeah.
Oh, I'm wearing
a
a 3D printed dress, which is like kind of plasticky, so it's sort of bouncing around. Anyways, it was fun.
We figure this is perfect.
Our poor keyboard player who was just sitting in for the show. He was like our mixing guru, and so he was familiar with the song, so he sat in on the show, but he had no idea that really do anything till the solo. So he's looking at me very freaked out by my complete impassivity to the whole situation. And somehow that all ended up on the video. So what can you do?
That's awesome.
And
Well,
it worked. It's
yeah.
it's entertainment.
Let's give it a spin.
All right.
You all are gonna love this if you hadn't already seen this. That way.
Excellent.
So much
Fantastic.
fun.
You had me bopping all around.
I was gonna, if I didn't like that video so much, I was gonna put you in the center screen. I thought you were gonna fall off your chair.
Oh, I no chair. This is why I
You're not
stand.
sitting.
No, you know that often happens. Being 5'1¼ I stand up and people are like, "Stand up." No, I am. But no, this is why I stand so I can move around. I actually went and got an extra long cord for my headphones.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
That was great. What kind of a venue was that you were playing?
That was our album release party at the at the Anza Club.
Is that a regular place where you guys play?
We've played there a couple of times. Yeah, it's a nice room. I think they have a good system in there, and what we wanted was a space that we could get the stems off the board from. So they had to have a good enough soundboard that we could connect and collect all the channels, so that we could do a little bit of mixing, because live. If you aren't getting the direct feed off the board, the live recordings are not usually very good, simply because there's so much bleed and the loudest thing is just loud and there's nothing you can do. So that was kind of one of the reasons we chose that venue. But the other is it's not too big a room. It was like 120 people, and so it was easy to fill it with all our friends and have everyone we know and have a good show that way, and acknowledge everybody who has kind of put up with us for all those years before we put out any music. So it was a fun night, yeah, and we got a few of our friends to come up and support the show and do a couple of sets, and it was a good time.
You can tell that it's a soundboard cut because it's a fantastic recording live. And I mean, there was obviously an excellent sound person, to start, because if you had terrible sound going in, it wouldn't matter what you got off the board.
The sound guy was great. Yeah,
that was an excellent live performance. And the only drawback to soundboards, unless there's a house mic, is you don't really get to hear the audience. I bet that audience was having a blast hearing that.
Yeah, they're dancing around. No, it was fun.
There were some people in the audience that remember, like, that grew up with the cartoon that song was written for, and they kind of went berserk. It was if we weren't having so much fun, it would have been a little bit frightening, but it's like, whoa, okay, yeah.
I suppose we should probably clue other people into what we were talking about when I said this is a real gem, and then you mentioned stepping on Sarita's face.
Right. Yeah. At the end of that, you see me reaching down to pull something off the bottom of my shoe, and it was one of Sarita's face gems. So she had a bunch of sparkly things on her face, and one of them fell off. Somehow found its way to the bottom of my shoe.
And you said it was even like in the way, like if you were trying to step on a guitar pedal.
It was like right under the ball of my foot, so the part that I would use to engage a pedal, and then I'd come off the pedal and I felt like I was standing on the pedal, and I was like, so I would click, and then I wouldn't know if I'd clicked it or not, and so I was having a lot of trouble. Like, I was double clicking. Oh, it's on. No, it's not. Oh, yes. Oh, So yeah, it was and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And then at the end of the song, I went down and looked, and I was like, oh, okay. And I think I flick it into the audience, but that's not on the video.
Darn face gems.
Very cool. Well, I am sure that audience was having more fun than I was having here, because seeing you guys a couple feet away live in the room with 100, and you're right, if you were doing it in a big, huge, having 120, which is a lot of people, is small enough that you can really feel, and the relationship between the performer and the audience is more close than it would be if you were in a giant place.
Very cool. I mean, we've played some venues that are like 200, 250, and it can get a little it's like you're playing into the void a bit. It takes a while to get used to the larger sizes of venues for performance. I think, don't get me wrong, I'm sure we'd love to play like a stadium, but I think when you play those rooms and the room has a good crowd and everybody's engaged, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's an arena or a bar room. Like, that's what the performer wants, is that like direct connection to the audience. So going big doesn't give you that. It just gives you more people.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Very nice. Yeah, it's more intimate, and your style is something that I imagine people give you back a lot of real, genuine reaction, and not just like, oh, that's cool, but you can see it, there's a lot of humor in a lot of the stuff that you do.
Yeah, we're dog sitting. Our dog is
dog sitting.
He's barking. I think he wants something.
But just the little intro we had for you guys, I think, like Frank said, was a real perfect example of all the elements of entertainment that you guys incorporate. That sense of humor is there, and there's serious. It's not a novelty act, but there's stuff that makes you smile, as I haven't stopped smiling the whole show here tonight.
We're kind of focused on fun and trying to trying to share what we're enjoying about making music with people who are listening to it. And I think when our live performances, our goofiness kind of just comes across, and then everybody else feels freed up to be a little goofy as well, and so it becomes a pretty fun evening. That's
what it's all about, engaging with the audience. You bring them in, they're there to listen to the music, to watch you perform, but you need that element, and you both are naturals at it. I can tell. Yeah. Well, we do have another track, and did you make any notes on this one? This one's called
This one
Pluto.
is Pluto.
Yeah. What can you tell us? Sorry, JJ, go ahead.
I was going to say earlier we had hit a lot, like you were saying, Rob, that were kind of rest tunes for Sarita, the early ones that we picked. Not that, because even on some of those, when her vocals come in, that's the magic sauce there. And you had mentioned that you had really worked on the 3-part harmonies, and your harmonies are something that I still have that anaconda ringing in my head right now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I'm like, why am I thinking about it? I'm gonna dream tonight about
I want to drive around the world in a Honda.
Yeah. I've been singing that for the last couple of days.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and that's both of them. Yippee-ki. Yeah,
it's awesome. You have that hook that makes it popular, makes it stick with you, but then you have all the extra stuff around it to make it not just that fluff of the hook. So it's really cool, but you got really good hooks.
Nice.
Hooks are harder to come by than you might think.
Yeah.
I worry sometimes because it's like we put a hook in almost every section that we're throwing them away too easily. But once you start doing something, you kind of stick with it. Like, I think
if you can keep going, that's awesome.
If you can keep doing it, but that's the challenge, right?
As long as you got a full tackle box, and you still got some to pull out, then you're okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So yes, our last one here is Pluto.
Okay.
So why don't we give this a play, Frank?
Let's do it.
You're under the gun. Change the color of the sun. I'm here. You're out there. I travel over on a tiny solar beam just to be with you. On Pluto, or just to see you. You're under my mom. Take your finger off that bomb. I'm here. You're out there. I travel over on a tiny solar beam just to be with you. On Pluto, or just to
Almost forgot. Got right into that one.
Excellent.
Nice.
Man, this chat, you both have this chat lit up.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
I've been
I can't
focused
keep
on
up
it.
with it. I was pretending that I would be able to read it and respond, and I have not been able to do that at all. So I apologize for my chat ineptitudes, but
You can watch it
It's
on
really
replay.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes what, like 8 hours until it shows up in the replay on YouTube. So like if you look back tomorrow, it'll all come out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is really hard. Some people do. I don't know how, but they do.
Yeah,
That was a rocker.
Yeah,
that was maybe the song that convinced us that it was a good idea to go electric.
Yeah, I think that one lifted us out of acoustic land. Yeah. But at the time that I wrote that song, they were just starting to, they redesigned or designated Pluto as not a planet, but as and I was a little bummed about that because I was like, why? So it was in my head, and that's how it came into that song.
Very cool. Yes, I love it. So for that to be kind of like your Newport Folk Festival song, like Dylan, where you switch and you become electric now.
Yeah,
that's
And
not
then
too
everybody
bad.
boos us for 2 years. That's funny because when we went electric, nobody booed.
There you go. Well,
I started getting called Electric Rob and told to not play an acoustic guitar anymore. It was
no.
Yeah.
And you gotta feel sorry for those guys back in, what was it, 65, where it was the equipment as much as anything. You couldn't play.
2006.
That's Fort Adams, where that festival is held, is a large place where if you didn't have the kind of equipment for live sound that we have today, it would have sounded like crap. But
yeah, well, it didn't help that for whatever reason, audiences associated authenticity with an acoustic guitar as well, which is, oh, now you're selling out, you're being a pop person, and like you don't get much more popular than, the answer is blowing in the wind, like a Rolling Stone. But I think, there's always that danger that the audience will start to dictate what the artist is going to sound like. And, I see it more nowadays when, the way the internet is created, like user engagement. All of a sudden artists are expected to be available for one-on-ones with everybody on the planet, and to not only get feedback from directly from fans, but then they're expected to create art to fulfill the feedback's desires, which can be very limiting for an artist if they want to change anything or go in another direction. It's a frightening level of expectation and entitlement that the audience has, and nowadays that they've never had before. But I think that was kind of happening to Dylan in that time, right? And now it's happening to everybody, right? So it's a bit of a frightening thing to establish as the way we want art to grow. I think you got to let the artist worry about the arting and either appreciate it or don't appreciate it as you will, right? But I think, if you don't let artists change, they're going to get bored and they'll stop making art.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't make anything else but this. I don't want to make this anymore. And then they stop. So you have to let them change.
Yeah. It's like I made that because that's what I felt.
Yeah.
That's where I was at the time.
That time. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. But it's so easy to pigeonhole artists. Like, oh, you can only do with this one thing. Well, our band, we don't do just one thing. We do many things. So it's really hard to pin our band down. As a matter of fact, I don't even know what genre we're in because we kind of touch on so many different ones. And it's whatever whim we have when we're writing, when we pick up our guitars and we're writing, that's what that song becomes. So we're we're floating between many genres. That's just, that's our style of writing.
And artists can try some different things out, and the fans have to accept. I still like the Stones, even though I could not believe they did Emotional Rescue, but I still like the Stones.
You and me both, brother.
Yeah.
What? Really? No. You just had to do a disco album? Like, why?
I just don't understand. Were they coming down from the high, or were they experimenting with something different?
I will be your knight in shining armor.
Shining armor.
Coming to your emotional.
So, not to negate what you've just been saying, because the bottom line is you can listen to the other stuff, or then wait and when they get back to doing something decent,
I think that if you there's an element to fandom now that is different than what it used to be, and it may not be the healthiest thing for the artist. It's great for fans, like, don't get me wrong, it's great for fans. It's great to have all these opportunities for direct engagement. That's really nice. But when fans start dictating what the art's going to be, then I think, if you're that creative as a fan, make some of your own. Like,
there you go.
Like, I don't think it's really fair or reasonable to have an expectation that you can tell the artist what to make as art. Like, I think for me anyway, I have no interest in that, right? Because I find suddenly now the boundaries are not my imagination and ability and inspiration. The boundary becomes somebody else's imagination and inspiration, which I don't share, right?
Yeah.
So I will never adequately fulfill that desire, right? I can only adequately fulfill mine, and I hope that my sense of what's cool is cool enough that other people will like it. And and then if people are trusting enough that I can continue doing that, if I go in a new direction, it's still informed by the same sense of cool, right? So it's so if you like the other stuff, maybe you'll like this, even though it's in a different direction. But I'm in my 50s now. I have no illusions about suddenly becoming a teen idol. I don't really feel enslaved by genre or trying to be consistent in a specific way. So I just try and write the best songs I can. And, I put songs together that seem to fit together in, collections. Like, if we do a Nippleback album, they all sound like Nippleback songs, right? If I do an acoustic album, they'll all sound like, what do we call that act now? Metaphonics.
Oh yeah.
So they'll all sound like metaphonic songs, right?
Yeah.
But I don't, people coming in and saying you should do Nickelback covers or whatever. That goes in one ear and out the other. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, for the most part.
And speaking of,
yeah, go ahead, JJ.
I was just gonna say, speaking of covers, not doing someone else's songs covers, but can we assume that most of the album covers or thumbnails we see that are artwork are your creations, Sarita?
Yeah. I mean, the ones that I was able to do, the first, the artwork for Pluto was our drummer did that one, but and then he had to leave the band to pursue other things. But I took over doing all the art because Jerry was the band artist, and then he went and died, and so then it fell on my lap.
Yeah. So the Grey Hess Tits album cover is a Jerry.
Yeah.
It was a Jerry piece.
He was an animator, so he did this drawing. This is our old, when we were just the three of us. He did the little caricature of us three, and he was doing all of our posters and everything. So kind of, yeah.
Glad you have recordings and video.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I can say, you mentioned genre. You don't know. I don't know what genre I have, but one thing is for certain. Everything you put out, whether it's acoustic, electric, it has your sound. You've captured this Nippleback sound that I don't think you could go any genre. It's always going to be you. It's always going to be the Nippleback for sure.
Oh yeah, I think there's definitely there's a continuity to what we're doing. Yeah. Greatest tits, yes.
I mean, I'm really holding back to just say, it's just sweet. It's the mother's milk of everything out there.
Yes.
But this 9:40 now, and
you're up late for you.
No, that I usually
Sorry.
like to dump everybody over to Vince Gianella's show right after this. And I do want to say thank you very much to both of you. Thank you for accepting this. I know you and I spoke months and months ago, and
it was a while ago.
Yeah, and then JJ found out. It's like, let me call him. So I'm really. It's a pleasure to meet you, Sarita.
Oh, thank you. And can I just say that my experience on this show was titillating. There you go.
Lori, you taking notes?
Obviously, we've made her.
Now
feel
you know why I married her. Yes.
JJ,
She's the tits.
you know that's going to be in the clip, right?
Yeah.
That's why I married her, he said. I love it. Well, any last words there, JJ, before we pass it over to...
I really send out positive thoughts and prayers to Thomas and his family.
Yes. Thomas, I hope it all works out for the best.
Positive vibes. Like I said, please go over and offer up some support to Thomas. DJ Big Red is going to post. Hello, Tails. DJ Big Red is going to post a link once more. And you can pre-buy his album. He was going to announce it tonight and all that. So positive vibes, Thomas. We love you. Nippleback, once again, thank you very much for being on the show. Pete John, I know you're still there. Thank you for introducing us to this beautiful artist, Nippleback. Thank you.
Rocket.
Great to see everybody. Stay kind and creative.
Yeah, and we're going to close the show with our friend Liza Day with a family track called Family. It's appropriate for this show. It's all about community. We love you. I love you. Have a wonderful evening.
We are, we are, we are, we are. 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 Sister, brother, father, mother, we are one and the same. We are friends, chosen hearts, shared a force of nature. We are family, family, forever like a diamond, special treasure. We shine. Family, 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 are we not part of one another? Our love is gold. Family. We are, we are, we are, we are. Family. We are, we are, we are, we are. Family. We are, we are, we are, we are. Family. We are, we are, we are, we are. Family. Your life could get in the way sometimes, but no matter whatever ever had the card, we'll weather it together.